Before we start, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. Only 2% are subscribed. At 1,000 subscribers, I'll be posting a special video. The stick hit the table and rattled. 2 lines glared. My name is Daniel, 34. I knew before Anna spoke, and I still froze. Positive. Her thumb pressed the plastic like a trigger. She didn't blink. You followed the plan. Her mouth tightened and I felt the floor tilt. I reached for the test, then pulled back. Touching it meant owning it. My chest hammered. Anna watched my hands hover, waiting to see if I would claim it. I did what you asked. The words clanged. Truth landed crooked. She flinched, small, fast, and stared past me like I was furniture. Her phone vibrated on the counter. The name flashed once, Mia, and disappeared. Anna turned the screen down, then crossed her arms. The silence grew teeth. I spoke first because silence would eat us. What do we do now? My voice didn't sound like mine. Anna's jaw clicked and the room tightened again. Now we live with it. She paced once, sharp steps, then stopped. She's pregnant because we engineered it. The word engineered scraped and I tasted panic. I wanted to talk logistics, not guilt. Doctor first, then agreements. The word agreements felt thin. Anna laughed without humor and my plan wilted. Her eyes glossed, then hardened. Do you feel anything for her? The question landed heavy. I swallowed because lying would show. I chose the smallest truth that could walk. I feel responsible. It sounded careful and weak, and scared of losing you. The second part was raw, too raw, and she looked away. The phone buzzed again. This time a text lit up and stayed. Ultrasound Monday, can you both come? Anna stared at it and I felt the air crack. I reached for the phone slowly. We should go. My hand hovered again. Anna didn't hand it over. She let it sit like a dare. She wanted this. Her voice dropped. I wanted this. She rubbed her wrist and the gesture looked like a confession, but I did not think it would feel like theft. The word theft stuck to my tongue. I remembered her spreadsheet, no rules, and bit it back. There were boundaries. My tone begged for structure, and structure was gone. She stepped closer, close enough to count breaths. Say it out loud. Her stare pinned me. I nodded because nodding was safe and safety had left. I got Mia pregnant. The sentence shook. And I did it with you in the room. The second sentence shook harder. I do not know who I am after that. Anna inhaled like bracing for a wave. We tell no one until we decide. She lifted the test and dropped it in a bag. The zip sounded final and nothing felt decided. Her shoulders sagged, then squared. You sleep in the office tonight, not punishment, containment. I need a wall. She turned away and the night stretched like a tunnel. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Another message, short and urgent. Please pick up. Anna didn't look back. I stared at the office door and chose the couch. Anna woke me with the phone in my face. One message from Mia blinked. Ultrasound confirmed at 10 tomorrow. Can we all talk before that? Meet her today. Anna's voice had no cushion. Neutral place. She pulled a hoodie on and waited. I nodded and reached for my shoes with stiff fingers. We drove without music. At the corner, she braked hard. Rules stand until we replace them. Her grip whitened on the wheel and I understood the warning. Mia waited at a cafe door. She hugged herself and didn't step closer. Thanks for coming. Her eyes searched us like a checkpoint. Anna stared at the street instead. Specifics. Anna crossed her arms and kept them there. Care plan, money, boundaries. The words lined up like boxes to check. Mia's chin lifted and held. I want to carry and parent. Her breath steadied. You can be present but not override me. The sentence rattled the table between us and I stayed still. Anna leaned in with elbows tight. Then we need a document before appointments. She pointed at me once. He signs responsibility where biology demands it. Heat rose in my neck. Mia folded a napkin until it nearly snapped. No name on the birth certificate until we agree. She pushed the folded strip aside like a fuse. I felt something ignite anyway. We can start with a letter of intent. I kept my voice flat, then escalate with counsel if needed. Both of them watched my mouth like a meter. Ultrasound tomorrow. Mia touched her stomach and stopped. I would like you there. She looked at Anna first. Both of you if possible. Air narrowed to a thread. Anna nodded once, small and sharp. I will come to hear, not to celebrate. She stood and waited for Mia to stand. I gathered the check with shaking hands. Outside, Mia caught my sleeve. Please answer tonight. Her fingers loosened and dropped. I have to sleep without guessing. She walked away fast like the ground burned. Anna started walking the other direction. I matched her speed without touching. Therapist at 4, she didn't glance back. I booked it last night. My stomach flipped at the ambush. The session began with a timer clicking. Anna S. Poke first with clipped phrases. I feel erased. I want control back. She stared at me and the room tightened around the sentence. I feel pulled in 2 directions. My palms sweated against my knees. I want clarity and a way to keep us. The therapist noted something and looked between us. Clarity means commitments on paper. Anna's foot tapped like a metronome. He avoids drift by signing before the scan. I opened my mouth and decided to breathe instead. We cannot sign anything binding without counsel. The therapist raised a hand. We can plan what each of you needs. She drew 3 columns and waited. Anna listed appointments and passwords first, then access rules and sleeping arrangements, then who speaks to family if this leaks. I watched my future shrink to squares. My list came out slower: medical bills in full, weekly check-ins with both, a promise that we leave if anyone spirals. The therapist underlined leave and circled it twice. We left with a simple task: call Mia and confirm attendance, call a lawyer tomorrow by noon, sleep separately tonight to reduce sparks. At home, Anna packed a small bag, t-shirts and chargers and a notebook. She slid it shut and met my eyes. 1 week away if you break today. I dialed Mia with speaker on. We will attend tomorrow. Anna didn't react. We also need counsel before anything permanent. Mia paused long enough to worry me. Understood. Her breath steadied. I booked a midwife consult next week. She asked if we could join, and the question hovered like a test I could fail. We will confirm after legal intake. My mouth dried. Send the details tonight. She agreed and hung up without goodbye. Anna locked her phone and walked to the door. Office for you again. She rested her hand on the knob. I do not trust myself near you. I nodded because pressing her now would blow everything. In the office, I wrote 1 line: I will not improvise. I taped it above the desk where I could not ignore it. The promise sounded fragile, but it was something. Sleep came in pieces. I kept seeing 2 chairs and 1 exam screen. I kept hearing the therapist's pen click. I kept counting decisions I could not undo. Before dawn, Anna texted from the bedroom. Bring coffee, no talk, we drive at 8. I answered with a thumbs up and forced my hands to stop shaking. At 7:59, she appeared in the hall. We walked out like co-workers before a tough pitch. None of this felt like marriage, and that was the point. The receptionist slid a clipboard toward us. Parent information. Her tone stayed neutral. Anna didn't touch it. Mia reached and paused. Whose name goes here? Mia's fingers hovered. The question drilled my ribs. Anna stared at the box like it might explode. Leave it blank for now. My mouth dried. The receptionist nodded without interest. My hands would not stop trembling. We sat in a tight row. Mia leaned forward and pressed her knuckles together. Anna kept her arms folded like armor. I counted breaths and waited for impact. A nurse called Mia in first. Support people can join. She opened the door wider. Anna stood immediately. I followed because not following would shatter everything. The gel hit and Mia flinched. The wand moved and static bloomed. Anna gripped the chair and didn't blink. I leaned closer because I could not look away. There it is. The nurse tilted the screen. A small pulse flickered. My chest felt too small for my heart. Anna stepped closer without realizing. Mia let out a breath. Is that normal? Her voice thinned. The nurse smiled lightly and clicked a button. Sound filled the room like a distant drum. Anna's fists loosened. Okay, she didn't look at me. The rhythm kept thumping through my bones, relief mixed with dread, and would not settle. Hold on. The nurse narrowed her eyes. She shifted the wand half an inch. Another pulse appeared where none should be. My legs went numb. 2. The word hung. Shared due date. She pointed gently. The room tilted again and would not straighten. Anna grabbed the counter and steadied herself. Mia whispered something I couldn't catch. Tears pooled and evaporated. Anna's jaw clenched, then relaxed. I could not feel my feet. We need a second scan to confirm. The nurse wiped Mia's stomach. Likely twins. She printed a small image for charting. I stared at the paper like it was contraband. Out in the hallway, Anna stopped walking. We double everything now. She wasn't asking. Costs, time, contact. Her eyes bored through me like a test. Mia touched my elbow, then switched to her own arm. I want to feel happy. She looked at Anna and waited. I also need a plan quickly. Anna pulled her phone and typed fast. Lawyer at noon. She didn't look up. We push for a preliminary agreement today. The word today hit like a gavel. Names stay off forms until counsel. I kept my voice steady. We cover medical bills without argument. Mia nodded once, her shoulders still shook. The receptionist called us back for papers. Insurance details. She placed another sheet down. Anna filled the numbers with rapid strokes. I initialed where arrows pointed. Mia excused herself to the restroom. Anna faced me with empty hands. If you go soft, I leave. She waited for my eyes to focus. I will not drift. The promise tasted metallic. No side conversations. I meant it and feared it. Mia returned with damp cheeks and straight posture. Midwife consult stands. She checked her phone. Next Thursday at 9. She looked at both of us in turn. Can you be there without fighting? I can listen and ask direct questions. Anna kept her chin level. No scenes. She glanced at me once. I nodded because any other answer would burn the bridge. In the parking lot, Mia stopped by her car. I need one more thing. She looked at Anna first. Tell me you are not my rival. Anna's throat moved once. You are not. The pause after carried a warning. You are also not my enemy. The difference hung like a wire between us. Mia exhaled and leaned on the door. Text me the lawyer's name. She opened the car but did not get in. I need to understand what I am walking into. We will send it in an hour. I checked the time. My phone buzzed with an unknown number. The preview line showed the law firm we had shortlisted. Anna caught the buzz and raised an eyebrow. Answer. She unlocked our car and waited. I swiped and prepared to sound competent. Retainer ready today. The voice was brisk. Zoom or in person. I glanced at Mia and then at Anna. Choosing wrong could light a fuse. In person, I made the call clean. Noon works. The line clicked and confirmed. Anna gave a small nod like a stamp of approval. Mia slid into her seat and gripped the wheel. Send me the address. She started the engine but lingered. Thank you for showing up today. We keep showing up. It came out before I could censor it. Anna shut her door with measured force. Mia drove off without looking back. On the way out, Anna finally spoke. 2 changes everything. Her hands tightened again. I cannot carry your fear for you. She stared at the road like it was a contract. I will carry it myself. I pressed my palms to my thighs. I will show you with action. The words felt heavy and necessary. Back home, we moved like operators. Email sent, calendar blocked, folder created. None of it solved the knot in my stomach. Anna paused at the doorway and faced me. One mistake and I am gone. Her voice stayed even. I am protecting what is left of us. I stood there and took the hit. Then I protect it too. The room hummed with all the unsaid words. Noon waited like a cliff edge. The attorney opened a folder and slid forms across. Authority, money, decision-making. Anna's shoulders squared. Mia placed her hands flat, then glanced at me for nerve. Start with medical consent. Anna's voice came out steady. Emergency plans first. The attorney circled a line and waited. I felt the clock press against my throat. Mia tapped the table twice. I will be primary contact. She pointed at the consent line. You both as backup, not equal. The word equal hung like a threat. We accept backup status with clear triggers. I leaned forward. If unreachable after 30 minutes, we step in. Anna's gaze cut sideways, testing my spine. Financials next. The attorney clicked a pen once. Coverage, timing, refunds. Anna raised a hand and spoke without looking at me. She listed numbers like weights. I will carry all medical costs. I kept my tone even. No reimbursement expected. Mia watched for strings. The attorney wrote fast and underlined twice. Birth certificate. The attorney paused before asking. Add him now or later. Mia inhaled through her nose and met my eyes head-on. Later with counsel present. Anna didn't flinch. We can live with later. She ticked a box and pushed the page back. My chest eased, then tightened again as the attorney reached for another sheet. Communication protocol, phone, text, group chat. The attorney raised a brow. Mia nodded at the group chat suggestion. All logistics there, no private threads. I swallowed hard. Anna turned her screen toward us. A new chat appeared with our 3 names. We keep every message inside this thread. She placed the phone face down like a seal. Visitation during pregnancy. The attorney scanned us. Appointments, calls, emergencies. Mia rubbed her wrist once. 2 appointments monthly for both of you, plus urgent visits. My palms dampened. Delivery room access. The attorney waited. The question landed like a grenade. Mia stared at the window, then back at Anna. 1 person at a time unless I ask otherwise. Anna considered, then nodded once. You get first choice in the moment. She tapped the paper. We switch based on her call, the attorney wrote it in quotes. Public exposure, the attorney's tone cooled. If this leaks. Anna looked at me without blinking. No social posts, no interviews, a single statement drafted today. The door opened in. A paralegal peered in, reporters downstairs. 3 words and the oxygen changed. The attorney stood and locked eyes with us. How would reporters know? Mia's voice thinned. She gripped the table edge and breathed through her nose. Anna's jaw flexed once and stopped. Someone at the clinic saw us. I felt the blood drain, or the twin note got whispered. The attorney raised both palms and took charge. Nobody goes outside alone. She stacked the pages and slid us a draft statement. Neutral language, no details, de-escalate. The hallway buzzed like a live wire. We moved to a conference room without windows. The attorney read the statement aloud. We are working privately and ask for space. She underlined privately like a guardrail. Shorter, Anna lifted a finger. Less detail invites fewer questions. She crossed out a sentence. Mia nodded and untensed half an inch. Security can escort you out. The attorney glanced at the door. Garage exit only. She handed over a temporary badge. I could feel sweat prickle under my shirt. Before we go, Mia pointed at the consent plan. Add midwife authority. The attorney wrote fast and pushed the final page over. We signed in quick strokes. My phone vibrated in the new group chat. An unknown number messaged Mia directly and got blocked. Anna's eyes burned into mine. No off-thread replies ever. We leave now. The attorney cracked the door and checked the hall. Head down, no comments. My legs moved before my thoughts caught up. Security funneled us to the elevator. Voices echoed from the lobby. Someone shouted Mia's name and the elevator doors slid closed like a trap almost sprung. Inside the car, Anna gripped the rail and stared straight ahead. One leak, we retreat for a week. Mia nodded without looking up. My heartbeat pounded through my forearms. The garage stank of oil and nerves. The guard waved us toward a side ramp. Press will stake the street. His jaw set hard. We slipped into the car like fugitives. At the exit, a boom mic dipped near the windshield. Faces flashed and blurred. Anna pressed the horn once and kept rolling. I looked down to avoid giving them anything. We merged onto traffic and breathed for the first time. The group chat pinged again. The attorney sent a PDF with our initials stamped. Preliminary agreement executed. Anna drove past our block and kept going. We cannot go home yet. Her fingers tightened on the wheel. We need privacy to plan what's next. Mia's name lit the screen with a fresh message. At my place is risky. Another ping followed fast. Hotel near the midwife clinic, 2 rooms, 1 floor. Forward the address, I typed before fear could argue. Anna exhaled through pursed lips and loosened her grip. The car finally felt like cover instead of a spotlight. At a red light, Anna turned to me. Tell the attorney we want guardianship language ready by Thursday. She paused and held my stare. I want contingencies before the next scan. On it, my thumbs flew and hit send. Mia heart reacted in the chat, then added check-in times for tonight. The schedule looked relentless and necessary. We pulled into the hotel ramp and killed the engine. Anna rested her forehead on the steering wheel for 1 beat. Do not improvise after we step out. I opened the door and felt the warning clamp onto my ribs. Upstairs, the hallway was quiet and overpriced. We knocked once. Mia opened her door with her phone still in her hand. The front desk asked if we were the trio. She leaned aside to let us in, and the question hung like a loaded camera. Are you the trio? The concierge's smile held. Anna froze mid-step. Mia's knuckles whitened on her phone. I pushed the elevator button twice and waited like it might betray us. Inside the room, Mia paced and checked her messages. 2 reporters followed me from the garage. She locked the bolt and leaned on the door. Anna scanned the peephole and stayed silent. We need a decoy route for appointments. Anna unfolded a city map from her bag. Back entrances, service elevators, no patterns. She drew 3 arrows and crossed the first out. Mia pressed a hand low on her stomach and grimaced. Cramping since noon, she swallowed hard. It's worse now. All the air left the room at once. Anna grabbed the hospital folder and thrust it at me. You drive. She pointed to the service exit on the map. We call the midwife from the car. I nodded because there was no other choice. The hallway stretched like a dare. We moved fast and quiet. The elevator stopped on a random floor and 3 tourists stared. Mia exhaled through clenched teeth and kept moving. In the garage, a camera turned toward us. Anna stepped between it and Mia with zero hesitation. Head down, her voice cut clean. I unlocked the car and floored it onto the ramp. My phone lit with the midwife's number. Come straight in. Her words were steady. No waiting room, side door by the loading dock. I repeated the instructions and took the next exit hard. Mia hunched forward and breathed in counts. Left side stabbing, then dull. Sweat beaded at her hairline. Anna reached back and squeezed her shoulder once like a metronome. We hit the dock and slipped through the propped door. A nurse waved us into a quiet exam space. Phones off. She snapped gloves on. My thumb killed the screen in a rush. Gel wand, silence. The nurse's mouth tightened as she searched. One heartbeat thudded on the monitor, strong and clear. Nobody exhaled yet. She slid the probe again and angled up. The second rhythm finally kicked in, faint but present. Relief hit hard enough to sting. Mia shook and laughed once, then gripped the rail again. Likely a subchorionic bleed. The nurse kept her tone even. Bleeding can happen with multiples. She printed instructions and pressed a bell for the midwife. We waited for the next verdict like defendants. The midwife arrived with quick steps. You did the right thing. She checked vitals and reviewed the scan. Rest, hydrate, no marathon days. Her eyes landed on me last. Questions before discharge. She waited without blinking. Anna raised a palm. How do we keep this out of the lobby downstairs? The midwife looked amused and then not. Switch clinics for scans. She wrote an address on a card. Private floor, private billing. She passed it to Anna and not to me. I felt that on purpose. Mia took the card and tucked it away. I can pay the difference later. She looked at both of us like that mattered. Anna shook her head once and shut that door. As we left, a security guard blocked the main corridor. Media at the front and side. He motioned toward a staff corridor. You want the laundry ramp. He stared at our faces like a quiz. We followed him through humming back halls. A gurney rolled by and clipped my hip. I did not complain. The guard lifted a gate and pointed to a narrow exit that made my skin crawl. We burst into the evening's noise and exhaust. Anna scanned the street and tossed me the keys. Switch seats, quick. We swapped like a pit crew under pressure we deserved. The first turn put us behind a delivery truck. A van with an antenna braked in our mirror. They found us. Mia's voice cracked for the first time all day. My pulse hammered a new rhythm. Anna opened the group chat and typed while I drove. Emergency protocol, we separate at the next light. She sent a pin for a public library 2 miles away. Regroup after we shake the tail. The van followed T. He truck instead of us. I took a sudden right and prayed the driver preferred easier prey. Mia watched the mirror and whispered a number every block. At the library lot, Anna parked 2 rows over. We stepped out like strangers who happened to arrive together. Inside, she pulled us between stacks and faced us squarely. We need a spokesperson. She kept her voice low. Not family, not us. She scanned my face for panic. The attorney can do it if we authorize today. Mia nodded, then hesitated. I want one more condition. She pressed her palm to a shelf. If complications return, I pick who comes in first. The shelf creaked. My heartbeat did the same. Anna held the stare for 3 long beats. Agreed. She pulled the folder and added it in block letters. Her call overrides any schedule. She underlined it once and capped the pen. My phone vibrated again, this time with a name I had not seen in months. Work. A calendar invite popped with a client dinner tomorrow. Anna caught the glance and raised an eyebrow that burned. I will decline tonight. I slid the screen away. This takes priority. The words felt like a bridge I should have built earlier. Mia's shoulders lowered half an inch. We walked out to the lot in a loose triangle. No cameras waited. No one cared for once. That quiet felt fragile enough to shatter with a single ringtone. At the cars, Anna touched my forearm. No office tonight. Her hand stayed for half a second. Come back to our place and sit at the table. The invitation sounded like a test I was ready to take. Mia unlocked her car and paused. I am sending the next appointment time. She met my eyes and then looked at Anna. Please come early and leave early. Boundaries layered on boundaries and still felt thin. The group chat chimed with the new location and time. A private clinic 2 neighborhoods over. Anna reacted with a check mark and added a calendar block. I stared at the notification like a contract with teeth. Traffic crawled on the way home. We didn't talk until our street. Anna finally spoke without looking over. Tonight we write a script for leaks. She drummed 2 fingers on her knee and then stopped. I parked and killed the engine. The house sat there like a witness who knew everything. We went inside and took our chairs. Pens clicked, phones face down. We started rewriting the part of the story we could still control, and none of it felt stable yet. Anna laid 3 printed drafts on the table: crisis script, custody addendum, press response. She kept her finger on the 3rd page. Pick one to finish before breakfast. I chose the script because my phone vibrated nonstop. Messages stacked with unknown numbers and clipped questions. One read, "We know your address." I pushed the phone face down and kept writing. Mia arrived 15 minutes early with a backpack. She didn't sit. I booked the private floor for Thursday. Her voice held steady. The clinic demands full payment by noon. Anna slid an envelope across the table. Already arranged. She didn't blink. But I want guardian language signed today. The envelope stayed between them like a tripwire. Mia unzipped the backpack and pulled a slim folder. "Here is my version." She folded her arms only after releasing it. "No adoption, shared decision-making for emergencies." Air thinned again. I skimmed for traps and found landmines instead. "Your clause blocks relocation for 2 years. My throat tightened. "What defines relocation exactly?" Mia tapped the margin with 2 fingers. "County lines count." Her jaw flexed once. "I will not vanish. You will not relocate the center of gravity." The phrase landed hard and memorable. Anna leaned in like a closer. "We tie relocation to school districts later." She moved the pen to the margin. "For now, we add a radius." Mia considered and gave a single nod. The doorbell rang twice in quick bursts. No one moved. Then it rang again longer. My stomach dropped because that chime carried trouble. "Upstairs now." Anna stacked the documents into her bag. I handled the door. She didn't wait for arguments or fear. Mia slipped into the hallway without a sound. I reached the landing and paused at the top step. Voices bled through the door in sharp questions. Anna spoke 5 quiet words I could not hear. Silence followed like a held breath. She closed the door and walked to the bottom step. "Neighbor." She lifted her phone and showed a text, a photo of 2 strangers waiting on the sidewalk. "We have eyes outside already." Mia exhaled near my shoulder, a short broken sound. "We move hotels again tonight." She rubbed her wrist until the skin whitened. "This will not calm down by itself. The lawyer wants signatures before we scatter." Anna pointed to the bag. 2 witnesses and a notary by 5. She looked at me like I was the clock. "I will set the location in the thread." My thumbs moved fast. "No lobby, back entrance only." Mia nodded and zipped the backpack closed with finality. Before noon, my boss called with a strained tone. "Is any of this true?" Noise buzzed behind him like a hive. "Clients are asking about your availability." "My availability stays unchanged for core duties." I leaned against the wall to keep my voice steady. "Tonight's dinner is impossible, but the work continues." He paused and weighed my promise. "Deliverables by Friday." His words came out clipped. "No excuses." The line went dead. Anna raised an eyebrow that said, "Do not miss." We reached the notary through a loading dock with peeling paint. 2 witnesses waited, both from the attorney's office. The notary adjusted a stamp and glanced at us like a referee. Mia signed first, then slid the pen. Anna signed without clearing her throat or blinking. My turn came and my signature trembled at the end. "Initial each page." The notary tapped the stack. We followed the taps without breaking the chain. The stamp hit with a dull thud that sounded like a door shutting on chaos. The attorney called as we stepped into the hallway. "Reporters have the twin detail." Her voice stayed controlled. "Someone in a clinic is selling notes." I stared at the tiles until they blurred. "File a complaint and request an audit." Anna took the phone with a calm grip. "Send the letter to both clinics now." Mia pressed her palm to the wall and inhaled slowly. We split cars for the hotel shift. I took the trunk and most of the boxes. Anna drove alone to throw off the watchers. Mia took side streets and checked the mirror at every light. At the new hotel, the desk clerk slid 2 keys in an envelope. "Use the service elevator." He looked past us at nothing. "Please avoid the main lounge for now." The way he said please told me they had already been burned. Up on our floor, Mia set the backpack on a chair and pulled out her phone. The midwife moved the consult to tonight. She stared at the screen. "The bleed risk demands closer monitoring." The word risk sliced clean. "We go together but stagger arrivals." Anna opened the window latch a crack and then closed it again. "I will walk in first. You 2 follow 10 minutes later." The plan fell into place without argument. Before we left, my mother called twice in a row. I sent both to voicemail and texted a single line, "I will explain this weekend." She responded with 3 words, "We already know." Anna watched my face and folded her arms. What did she say? I showed the screen and waited for a new rule. Then we call her tomorrow with the attorney on the line. She didn't ask, she decided. We reached the clinic by the private entrance and buzzed. A nurse opened and guided us to a discreet room. The monitor flickered to life and sound filled my skull like a slow engine. The first beat was strong and regular. The second lagged a half step behind but kept steady. I felt something unclench inside and refused to smile. The midwife checked measurements with quick hands. Hydration and rest helped. She wrote a note and underlined it twice. Avoid long drives and long meetings. I thought of Friday and felt the knot return. Mia squeezed my wrist once and let go. I can switch to remote work. She looked at Anna, then away. I also need rides sometimes. Asking cost her, but she asked anyway. Anna nodded once. We rotate transport duties with calendars. She held out her phone without warmth. No last-minute surprises unless medical. The boundary landed like a guardrail, needed and cold. On the way out, we passed a bulletin board with hospital bracelets pinned in a line. Mia stopped and stared for a beat too long. "I want everyone leaving healthy." Her voice thinned and steadied. However ugly, we built the road. That night, we sat around the hotel desk and rehearsed lines for the leak. We took turns reading the script out loud. We trimmed adjectives until every sentence sounded surgical. My phone lit up with a blocked number. A voice asked for a quote about donor arrangements and betrayal. I ended the call without speaking and put the phone under a towel to muffle the next ring. Anna wrote 3 bullet points on a receipt and handed it to me. "Keep to this if cornered." It read, "Private matter, ongoing medical care, no further comment." I folded it until it cut my thumb and kept it. At 2 in the morning, fire alarms blared through the ceiling. We jolted upright and grabbed only what we needed. In the stairwell, 2 strangers filmed toward the crowd with their phones up like binoculars. Mia stumbled on the second landing and clutched the rail. I moved under her arm without thinking. Anna blocked the camera with her shoulder and glared until it dropped. Outside, a manager shouted that it was a false alert. People groaned and stampeded back inside. We waited until the crowd thinned before moving, heads low and hearts high. Back in the room, Anna closed the curtains and leaned against the wall. "This is not sustainable." Her voice came out raw. "We need a central plan that does not collapse when a stranger points a lens." We moved to a lawn. Stay apartment with private parking. I rubbed the heel of my hand into my sternum. "We pay in cash and rotate cars." Mia sat on the edge of the bed and nodded. Anna lifted her palms like weighing stones. "We also pick a single spokesperson and push every question there." She stared at the draft statement on the desk. "No more improvising on sidewalks." Morning brought a message from the attorney with attached paperwork. "Temporary guardianship language ready, review and sign at noon." The clock inside me started ticking again. At the office, my boss waited at my desk with crossed arms. "You are trending." He looked at the floor instead of my face. "I need to know if this spills into client rooms." "It does not." I held his gaze and kept my shoulders square. "My calendar holds and my deadlines stay intact." He studied me like an equation and moved on. Noon found us back at the firm with the blinds shut. We signed the new document with hands that finally stopped shaking. The attorney looked pleased for the first time since we met. "Now we handle your families." She placed 2 printed scripts between us. "These are for parents and siblings." She tapped a line about privacy and support. "Use this exactly." I nodded too fast. The next call broke something and fixed something. My mother cried, then asked the right questions. She agreed to keep quiet and send food without knocking. It felt like mercy arriving on schedule. Anna called her brother from the hallway and returned with red eyes. She did not explain. She did not need to. She slid the phone across the table and pressed her lips together. Mia called a friend and asked for rides next week. She avoided names. She avoided details. She hung up and stared at the carpet until her breathing evened out. The private floor clinic moved our next scan to Saturday morning. We agreed to arrive separately with buffers. The plan made sense and still felt fragile. Saturday arrived with fog and a quiet street. I parked behind a delivery van and waited 5 minutes before walking in. Anna texted already inside. Mia pinged, approaching the back door. We met at the elevator with eyes that did not meet. The nurse buzzed us into the scan room and closed the door with a soft click. The machine hummed, the gel cooled, we braced. First heartbeat, second heartbeat, both measured within range. The midwife smiled once and then went back to work. Relief flooded the room without permission. Mia covered her face for a moment and then dropped her hands. "They are okay." She looked straight at Anna. "Do you want to hold the printout?" The offer surprised the air out of me. Anna reached slowly and took the small sheet. She traced the angles with one fingertip like a map she might follow or burn. "We can get through this if we stay disciplined." It sounded like a vow attempting to grow. We left through the side stairwell and walked to the lot. A car door slammed across the street and a camera blinked to life. We did not run. We kept moving in a line with our chins level. Back at the apartment we had secured that morning, Anna placed the printout on the table. She did not frame it. She did not hide it. She made space for it like a problem we would not misplace. We sat and built a schedule that could hold weight, appointments on one shared calendar, bills tracked weekly, check-ins every other day with timers and hard stops. I added a new rule in my own handwriting: no surprises alone. I taped it above the desk beside the other promise. My hands did not shake this time. Night fell and the neighbor upstairs dragged furniture. My phone finally went quiet for a few minutes. In that hush we heard something change between us. Anna stood and walked to the sink, then back. "I want you in our bed tonight." She held my eyes, "Not because I forgive yet, because I need the person who will carry the hard parts with me." "I am here." I meant it and felt the weight hit. She nodded once and did not smile. The space between us shrank without softening. Mia texted from her room down the hall, nausea rising again. "Can one of you bring crackers?" I grabbed the bag in the cabinet without announcing the brand or the smell. At her door, I knocked once and waited. She opened half an inch and took the packet with a tired thanks. Her fingers brushed mine and vanished. I walked back to the table and sat. Anna watched me sit and exhale. "We will fail if we try to be saints." She folded the schedule and tucked it under the printout. "We settle for honest and consistent." It sounded like the first rule that might survive. Later, after she fell asleep against my shoulder, the apartment hummed like a machine finally tuned. I stared at the ceiling and counted beats until my pulse slowed. I knew disasters would still line up outside our door. I knew reporters would circle and relatives would pry. I knew courtrooms might appear if trust cracked again. But I also knew this: two rhythms kept time inside a woman we both cared about, a th. Rhythm learned to match them inside my chest, and that drumline would force me to grow whether I wanted to or not. At 3 in the morning, the group thread pinged with a message from the attorney. "Hospital liaison confirmed privacy flags on all records." I wrote back a single word: "Thanks." The room stilled again after the screen dimmed. I lay there with Anna's breathing on my arm and the schedule under the printout. Tomorrow would start another gauntlet, and we would run it together. Sleep came like a deal finally signed. Not safe, not simple, binding enough to carry us into the next fight with our eyes open and our hands steady.